Hi, this is Cathy for Trans by Deb, and this week we have a very hard topic for me to talk about. The topic is social acceptance. Typically, social acceptance is considered when individuals try to impress the people around them that they socially fit into what they're doing. Oftentimes this involves cursing, drinking, smoking, taking drugs, telling tales when they don't normally do that. Now, how do I rationalize the difference between the concept of social acceptance in that line, where people are trying to fit in with a group of people and are doing anything possible to impress those people? The difference is transgender people like myself, male to female trans people who have transitioned, we are trying to be our genuine self. I think that I, as a person, need to be true and authentic. I don't need to lose my authenticity and become part of a social clique. And I think that's the difference between being a transgendered woman seeking social acceptance and people trying to be socially accepted within a group. I desire very much to be socially accepted as a woman, but I will not do the things which are not authentic to me in order to reach that goal. The other thought that occurred to me when it came to this idea of social acceptance is, how far do you take it? For the people who are in my neighborhood, I feel that they socially accept me and have accepted my transition very well. The people in the job place, on the other hand, I feel sometimes as though they are tolerant but not socially accepting. They have been told by HR that they have to accept me in the way in which I am, but they have not 100% accepted me. They just tolerate the way I am at the present time because of, I think, fear of the administration above them. So I think there's degrees of social acceptance, and I think there's degrees of tolerance within the socially accepted circles. I think at the gun range and the horse arena, I am socially accepted, and I like that. When I go to Houston, oftentimes I don't even feel accepted by the other transgender people that are in some of the groups that I go to. I feel oftentimes as though I'm outside because I refuse to smoke, drink, and curse and do some of the things that those other transgender people do to gain acceptance within the group that they are. I find that is very, very difficult. I also refuse to dress in bizarre or odd ways. I love dressing up as a very petite, very nice woman, but I do not enjoy dressing up in pink wigs and wearing pink high heels. That's just not me. So my social acceptance only goes so far. I want to be genuine as much as I possibly can in the inner feelings that I have, rather than trying to make myself appear to fit with the people that are around me. And when I go to Houston, that is one of the big points that I'm faced with. I'm faced with, do you want to become that weird, odd person that you're sitting there talking to in order to fit? And I say no. So oftentimes I won't go, but I enjoy going and meeting other transgender people and being with them. But oftentimes I don't feel like I fit. There are times when I don't feel socially accepted in certain groups I go to, certain meetings I go to, certain places I go. If somebody even vaguely reads me as being a trans woman, that I all of a sudden feel that I go from socially accepted to tolerant. With many of the sexual harassment concepts that are out there and sexual harassment rules that are floating around, people do not dare, they just don't dare look at you and ostracize you and do the opposite of transgender acceptance by transgender rejection. There are people, when I go to the gun range, the old military times, which refuse to accept me at all, and I feel a certain degree of rejection from those people. So I think the far end of social acceptance, or the other end of the spectrum, is non-social acceptance, as I see with many of the old military people that I have to deal with oftentimes at the gun range. So I think there is a whole spectrum there that we have to look at, from being totally accepted to being totally rejected, and that is all part of the social acceptance that we go through. Also, when you're outed someplace, I think all of a sudden you become socially unacceptable around you, and I think that being outed is a major concern that we all have as transgender people. When we're outed, we all of a sudden lose our social acceptance, and we are not with the people. We are out by ourselves. Well, that's what I have to say for today. The main points I want to make is, I think we as transgender women try to be authentic individuals rather than being or following the mold of the rest of the world on socially acceptable. The thing I believe is there is a big degree of social acceptance, all the way from social acceptance to social rejection, and just being outed moves you from one to the other. Well, thank you for listening this time, and I hope to see you again next week. Have a happy 4th of July. Bye.